Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Do you remember when Michelle Obama, the former First Lady of the United States of America, said when her husband was elected as the president of this fantastic country? And she said, "This is the first time in my life when I'm proud to be an American." Remember how idiotic that sounded? Well, I feel sorry for her, but anyway, that means she's kind of, I don't think she had a bad life here, but nevertheless. Well, the same I say right now, the same idiotic, is the first time in my adult life when I feel proud that I am Polish. No, I'm not Polish, I'm just kidding. But anyway, I am proud that that the Poles have balls. Remember when Donald Tusk was elected, or whatever, he was allowed to form the coalition government, and he was, elected as the prime minister of Poland. I said, oh my God, the Poles lost their balls. But no, I was wrong. Why? Because tens of thousands of Poles with balls right now protest in the streets of Poland because of the garbage Donald Tusk is doing. Donald Tusk, I think, is one of those people who would sell his family in slavery just to, I don't know, get a position somewhere in the government or be recognized. That's the way I see the guy. Personal. Why? His statements and policies that he implemented while he was at the European Union. Poland was in charge of, at least they held the presidency for some time. He was over there in charge. I saw him talking, arguing, bullshitting. So let me show you what's going on here. We have tens of thousands of Poles with balls protesting, and for good reason. Not because they're just sour that they did not form the government. That too, but I think they're justified in doing it. I'm going to read for you. I have 3 articles, and the third one is an opinion article from, unbelievably, The Telegraph. And that person who writes that article, the author, we're going to just spell why the Poles are actually protesting, marching, how you want to call it. So let's go and start with this one. So this is from the tens of thousands protest in Poland against ex-minister's imprisonment. I was waiting. I think they did 3 strikes, Tusk, 3 strikes. As they came over there in power, I think he changed the head of the, how do you call it, the broadcasting, the state-owned broadcasting company, whatever it is. Second one, they arrested 2 ministers or former ministers, arrested them in the palace, I think, of Duda. He called them to meet them, and then they got arrested. And the third one, I think they wanted to do something with the guy Adam something. I checked him out. The president or the director of Poland's national bank. They tried to replace him or something, and I think they can't really do that. Why? The guy came from far away. He's not from you guys or from us. He comes from some other places. Adam, chum 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 chum. We're gonna read all that for you, my friends, right here. Tens of thousands protests in Poland against ex-minister's imprisonment. Paparapa, kapacapa, right there. Are you gonna go to the stadium after this? Watch a game? Warsaw. Tens of thousands opposition supporters massed outside parliament on Thursday to protest against the new government changes to state media and the imprisonment of 2 former ministers convicted of abuse of power, but pardoned by the president. Did they say that? Look how the sentence ends. Convicted of abuse of power. That's it. It ended. Maybe they say down here, but let's see. Oh, it says right here. The march reflects mounting tensions in the country as the new pro-European, the European Union keeps its mouth shut, because I'm going to use this article. Pro-EU fanatics are silenced on Poland's new illiberal turn. 2 weasels. That's, oh, I'm going to sell my family to you, baby doll, and then I'm going to go down on you. All right, yucky, but let's go. Union coalition government led by Donald Tusk tries to undo the policies of the previous nationalist Law and Justice Party administration. You already know that Reuters is on this weasel's side. You already know from the very beginning. They didn't mention the beginning, right? I mean the fact that those guys were pardoned in the first statement or whatever paragraph. Right here, they don't mention it. So if you read, that's all you need to know. And again, these guys are new pro-European, and the other ones, we know they're nationalists. Undo the policies. So you already know these guys are spinning the news here. It is also came as the President Andrzej Duda, a PIS ally. Who's the president? What do you want? Said on Thursday he had started proceedings to pardon the two ministers in a last government who were jailed this week for abuse of power, escalating his own standoff with the new government. Yeah, but this article right here, I think, states that those guys were charged in 2008, I think, and they were pardoned in 2015 or something. We're gonna get to that one. And I'm quoting, "We have to win this great battle for sovereign, independent Poland. Hurrah!" PIS leader Jarosław Kaczynski told the crowd. So, state-run news agency, PAP, cited Warsaw City Hall as putting the number of people in the crowd at around 35,000, while PIS spokesman put the figure at almost 200,000. All right, protesters listened to the speeches, Let's see, pardon. The former PIS government introduced reforms that critics say undermine the independence of the courts and threw the judiciary system into disarray. Well, not going to this, I'm going to go to the next one. DPA International, tens of thousands of Poles demonstrate against new Tusk government. Whistle alert. All right, tens of thousands, we got that one. This is not a Polish government. No shit. I can show you whose government it is. Rapacapa, upi, kupi, upi, kupi, upi, kupi. Yeah, that's she. She's over there. Longtime PIS party leader Jarosław, the same guy, told Bababab. The protest of free Poles, yes, was organized by these guys, populists, who were voted out of the office. Yeah, but didn't they win the majority of votes? Yeah, but they were incapable of putting together a coalition government. So they're still the biggest party. So shut the fuck up. Who are you again? Who wrote this? DPA. Okay, DPA. You're the same in the cahoots with your Jesuits right here. All right, let's move on. What else? Oh, Tusk's government. Look how mild and euphemistically these guys are going to talk. Tusk government, which took office in mid-December, has begun reorganizing. They organized the TVP, private television Polish, some television channel, Polish radio, and PAP news agency, all of which the PIS has steadily brought under its control during its 8 years of power. So this is, oh, we come here, we kick you in the balls, you come, you kick us in the balls. However, the arrest this week of two former government ministers with the ousted PIS party who were sentenced to 2 years in prison on corruption charges shifts the focus of the demonstration. It says here, the two politicians were arrested on Tuesday and taken to prison after seeking refuge with President Andrzej Duda. Oh, okay. This is my friends. What's here? Their conviction was also on an affair uncovered in 2007, in which the anti-corruption agency PIP in 2015, immediately after the PIS came to power, Duda pardoned Kamiński, Kaparyski, and Wiryski Kaporowski in controversial decision. Yeah, but he pardoned them. What are you talking about right here? Okay, so last June, Poland's Supreme Court overturned their pardons. Holy fuck. My Poles, what are you doing there? So they overturned, as the appeal proceedings were still ongoing at the time Duda issued them. Both then had to face trial again at the end of December. The Warsaw District Court sentenced them to 2 years in prison. Oh, okay, now I got it. Holy moly. And we got this guy right here. A story by Alan Sked. I'm going to read just a little bit for the British friends here, English friends, because you're going to use some names that you understand. Pro-EU fanatics are silent on Poland's new illiberal turn. Yum, 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 yum. Okay. Imagine a scenario, my British friends, right here, in which Sir Keir Starmer wins the next election and immediately sacks the chairman and board of the BBC. Sits by as former ministers are arrested on charges of abuse of power, says he will depose Andrew Bailey and makes the court subservient to the EU. The public response surely would be one of outrage. No, it wouldn't. You got food and beer, you're good. Yes, similar developments are taking place in Poland, and there has barely been a whimper, not least from Britain's pro-EU fanatics. So it says here, the reason appears to be simple. The man in charge there is a former president of the European Council. He is viewed as a liberal committed to restoring. He's not a liberal. He's a communist. They say center-left. No, he's a communist. And how come the communists are liberals? That's another garbage. It's another garbage. Communists are for control, and they're on the left. What are you talking about? A liberal commitment to restoring the rule of law, which, so the narrative goes, was endorsed by the previous far-right, quote-unquote, Law and Justice Party. And under the PIS, Poland's Supreme Court had the temerity to rule that it had primacy over the European Court of Justice. German's top court maintains the same, but few criticize the Germans. Okay, so that's very double standard, right? Because the PIS government faced accusations of muzzling the press and attempting to silence social media, it was widely rumored that the victory for Donald Tusk at the 2023 general elections was inconceivable. Yet, triumph Donald Trump did. How odd that in a supposedly illiberal nation, the government left office after losing an election. There was a 75% turnout. Let's see here. Political sciences, Tusk indeed. Yeah. Let's see what do we have here. So political scientists seemed stumped. Poland, with Hungary and Slovakia, had been placed in their category of illiberal democracies after all. But Tusk did indeed become prime minister in December, promising to overturn the court ruling on abortion, protect the rights of people, and restore relations with the EU. Let us not forget his proclamation as EU Council President that there was a special place in hell reserved for Brexiteers. An idiot, man. This guy's an idiot, Tusk. But hey, he was born in office, right? He had faced difficulties, the main ones being the Constitutional Court is dominated by PIS appointees and that the Polish President Duda is pro-PIS. Yet, it would hardly be ridiculous to expect a degree of disquiet in European liberal circles at how he has sought to surmount those problems. Indeed, according to Tusk's critics, he seems to believe that the best way to restore the rule of law is to break it. And now the last paragraph, very important. Right here, plus another sentence. A week after being appointed, he replaced the chairman and board of state-owned TV and radio stations, insisting that he had a parliamentary resolution to back him up. 2 former ministers of the PIS were arrested this week in the presidential palace, to which Duda had invited them, on the basis of convictions from 2007 relating to the abuse of power. Duda has pardoned them in 2015. Yeah, but this guy doesn't mention that, according to the other article, the courts intervened again and nullified Duda's pardon. At one point, Tusk threatened to replace the governor of the central bank, believing this guy, Adam Glapinski, I looked for him, not much information, but that is Adam, so, and he's in banks. Anyway, supported the previous government's policies. They will take their hands off him, because as I said, he comes from far away, not from... How this saga will end is still uncertain, but one thing is clear. This European champion appears to be no liberal. So this is Alan Sked, is Emeritus Professor of International History at LSD. Okay, LSC. So, these kind of things, when I come, let's put it this way. It used to be that once you get in power, you don't imprison your opposition. Well, it seems like this is no more a fact, or these guys are not following the same rule. Look at the United States of America. the witch hunt that occurred after Trump's was out through elections. They went after Roger Stones. Remember Roger Stone? Then they went to after Steve Bannon. I'm surprised they didn't go after my friend Stephen. Stephen is a Jewish good one. Stephen Miller. Steve Miller. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I like that guy. I can tell you that one. And then Donald Trump, obviously, and everybody else. They went after Barr. They went after, what's this? This is like a fifth world country, but whatever. These guys, the Poles are doing the same thing here, and the European Union, nothing to see here. And the Poles are protesting. Will that be a real insurrection or not? Well, I don't think they will go that far, because they will lose legitimacy, obviously. We'll find out. And again, this Alan Sked, professor, makes the claim, how in the hell those guys were elected? But they were not. The party did not get more than the far-right party. Okay? But nevertheless, how in the hell they were able to form a coalition when these guys are illiberal democracies? Doesn't make sense, but hey, as I said many times, it doesn't matter how people vote, it matters who counts the votes, like Stalin allegedly claimed. And it's obvious. Obvious why? Direct experience. I know that. Direct experience, how things could be fudged. And I was the victim of it, and I also witnessed it. And I was like, is that what you were doing? Yeah. Okay, mofos. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.